everyone, and welcome to Another Bite, where we rewatch the most innovative and intriguing pitches from Shark Tank. I'm Jorie, and I'm joined by Ariel.
Hi, friends.
And Jon.
Hey, everybody.
I love baseball. The peanuts, the Cracker Jacks, the hot dog. Well, maybe I just love food. Just kidding. I used to live in Boston. I'm all about that Red Sox life. Speaking of champions, today we've got a bit of a heavy hitter. Will this product be a home run or will it be a swing and a miss? Our founder may be young, but hey, folks, this is the major leagues. More after this brief sponsored break, also probably featuring me. You know it, we know it. Next year is creeping up quick. If you want to win inside your niche in 2024, you need tech that puts you in the pilot seat. The new HubSpot Sales Hub will help you close out the year strong and kickstart your success in 2024. Teams can collaborate on every inch of the customer journey and keep operations running smoothly with comprehensive prospecting workspace and powerful sales analytics tools that keep data connected across teams. And with over 1,400 integrations, there's a ton of ways to mix in new features. So finish out Q4 strong and gear up for the new year with HubSpot Sales Hub. Learn more at hubspot.com/sales. Batter up, baby, because today do we have the product for you. Today's product is Glove Wrap, and Glove Wrap is brought to us by Gavin, Morgan, and Jon. They're asking for $50,000 for 20% in their company, which is a $250,000 valuation. Now, their product, which the name may suggest, is an elastic band that essentially is designed to break in the shape of a perfect baseball glove. But in terms of just visualizing it, it's what it sounds like. It's a neon yellow thing that you just wrap around your glove.
It's rubber.
Yeah, it looks like the little leg stretchy things.
Yeah, it's a wide elastic. It looks like maybe if you had like a horrible leg injury, you'd like wrap that around it or something like that.
Thinking about our pitch and our product and our unexpectedly young founders, what are our thoughts about Glove Wrap?
We love a good father-son duo. I thought it was wholesome. I think it's cute. I love any time that a parent is trying to instill business concepts in their children. But with that said, it did rub me a little bit the wrong way hearing Gavin just spew out all of these numbers as a child. Just didn't feel natural to me. I don't know.
Why did it rub you the wrong way?
I mean, you could tell the passion's there. He's excited about his product. His dad is, help leading him along. Like, it's very wholesome, but just something felt off when he was going into the numbers and the details.
See, that's the thing that actually felt right to me, Ariel. Kids show up on Shark Tank a little more than you would expect, right?
Yeah.
A couple times a season, a kid shows up, and it seems like they kind of fall into three buckets. There's like the pity kids, which is like, I, as a parent, had an idea, and I'm just going to like bring my kid along because you won't be mean to me if I bring my kid along, right?
Right.
Turns out the sharks, they're still pretty mean to the
they're
adult.
pretty mean.
The second bucket is, my kid had this amazing idea, but they have no idea what to do bucket. And don't you want to make their dream come true? And then there's the third bucket. And this is the first time I've ever seen a kid fall into the third bucket, which is the like, oh my God, this kid is absolutely freaking incredible and you have to fund him bucket. The kid has an idea, has launched the product, knows every single detail of the business, and runs the whole pitch. That third bucket, those are a grand slam to invest in my opinion.
But it's true. He did start rattling off those numbers. He knew his business because you find out that even though it's a pretty simple product, the origin story came from like a real problem. The child was having trouble breaking in their baseball glove, and that's pretty standard if you're like in Little League and your parents buy you a new glove. But clearly, it's not a problem from nothing because they've sold over 1,000 of these glove wraps. So $19,000 in sales by the time they're making it to Shark Tank. So it's not just passion, it's kind of working.
Yeah, we use the vitamin versus painkiller analogy a lot on this show and talk about like what category things fall in. And the idea is a vitamin is something that hypothetically makes your life better, but you don't absolutely need it to live. And a painkiller is like something that actually improves your day-to-day life and takes some pain away. And the interesting thing is like, this is a definite painkiller, but for a market that I just know like very little about. And like, it's not a problem that I experience. Sometimes it's hard when you look at these products to say like, is there a market for this? And is this a good idea? And is it a painkiller? And I actually think listening to this kid pitch and then looking into the baseball glove market a little bit, I think it's a real painkiller. I think it's a huge pain to break in a baseball glove. And it turns out there's 4.5 million baseball gloves sold in the US every year.
Wow.
So like, even if you get
a portion of that.
10% of those, you're still going to have a decent, solid business to run and grow.
But what's our thoughts on like defensibility? Knowing that all of us probably aren't in this target audience, I did some research too on like alternative methods, and seems like you can break in a baseball glove for, if you can MacGyver it a little bit with some rubber bands, that there's cheaper ways to potentially have a solution or that painkiller. So I'm just wondering, will this have enough legs to stand on? It seems like there's nothing really as cohesively nicely as packaged as this, but didn't know.
Yeah, there's two ways to look at the defensibility, Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
One way is the alternatives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Porter has this like 5 forces framework, which talks about basically like a competitive position. And one of the forces is substitution, right? And so like, yeah, instead of buying this product, you could substitute in rubber bands and you could like dump orange juice on it and like, do a seance over it to like try and get the glove broken in.
I'm pretty sure that we used to microwave our baseball
everybody did
gloves
something.
to
You like
get
stick
them
it in the
more flexible.
dishwasher.
Like, not ideal.
Okay, so there really is no universal
You gotta put it
alternative.
under your mattress for like 3 nights, and exactly 3 nights. Like the 4th night, it'll be too broken.
On a full moon.
You need a werewolf to like use it for a game of catch.
Once a blue moon out.
Exactly.
So that is one on the defensibility side, Ariel, is the substitutes. And I think that's probably the biggest risk is people will be like, yeah, maybe I need that. But like, I don't know, I got a bag of rubber bands at home. It's worked before. And so I think actually the thing that you do to combat that risk and that competitive threat is actually ensure that it's priced appropriately. You basically you need the right placement and the right pricing, I think, to pull that off. So it needs to be where baseball gloves are sold, and it needs to be priced in a way that it is not too much money to actually take a risk on trying it out. And the second bucket around defensibility, I think, is a competitor being like, well, I'm going to launch this product, or an incumbent saying, I want to launch this product. And my thoughts on that are it's probably not so big of a business that the incumbents would actually find it that attractive to build and launch the business line, or for some competitive product to really come in. And so I actually think they've got this like unique window where the market is big enough where they can make a bunch of money and be profitable and return on the investment from investors, but is not so big that it would attract real competitive threats.
Really? I don't know if I agree with that, Jon. Like, I could see very easily some of these bigger names coming in and extending that line because they already have the materials for it. They already have very similar products in market, just saying, hey, we're coming in at a $14.99 price point, so we're going to undercut you guys coming in at $19.99. I don't know.
They could. I just think the way that big companies tend to look at launching new products is they say, what's the total market size? How much of that can we capture? And does it cross some number? Like every company's got some internal number that they're like, if that business can't be X $100 million, we just shouldn't launch it because there's better ways to spend our money. So to me, it just feels as though like it's never going to get to the internal hurdle for like a big company like Rawlings or whoever. So that's the only reason I think that it would be hard is like, I think there's an internal benchmark for projects to get funded. And this one will just like slip through the cracks every time.
It's too small. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's too niche.
Yeah. They could be out there funding like Big League Chew to get kids used to chewing tobacco before.
Dark conspiracies.
Can you believe that was a thing? It was like, hey, why don't you buy this pack of bubble gum called Big League Chew?
The bubblegum to tobacco pipeline was there.
Oh my gosh. Crazy.
I don't know. Like, it strikes me as this is going to be something that a parent potentially buys their younger child and it's Little League.
I feel like this is an add-on to a baseball glove. If your point stands, which I think is true, Jorie, that the majority of sales here are going to be for youth baseball gloves, the thing to remember is that everybody says they're going to feed the dog every day and walk the dog every day as a kid, but they never do. Who does it? The parent.
The parent.
Like, the person who's MacGyvering the baseball glove is actually mom or dad. And mom or dad is like really busy. And when they're buying the baseball glove, they're probably like, oh my gosh, I should just buy this and do it. So to me, I would be super functional, which is like, break in baseball glove in half the time with no effort. And like, I think people would just buy it.
We did have some sharks that really saw the potential of glove wrap. Michael and Mark offered a deal for $50,000 for 22%, just a little above the original ask of 20%, which I felt like, it's because there's the child, isn't there? But ultimately, the kid was a bit business savvy because a deal was struck and Glove Wrap walked away with the deal with Michael and Mark.
Michael is obviously in the sports industry. His first customer was Big Five Sporting Goods. And this kid's first customer was Big Five Sporting Goods. And so like this kid's like on a Michael Rubin path.
Yeah.
I'm sure Michael looks at this and is like, I don't know how big this product will be, but like this kid is on a path just like me. This is so great. Like, how can you not want to encourage this kid
and reinvest
to keep being an entrepreneur? Because this business is only the start. But in reality, when he's 23 or 24 years old, he'll probably have already launched 2 or 3 businesses if he gets the right support and learns his stuff. And then he's going to go on to be like a life-changing entrepreneur.
Definitely. I feel like this is one of those where it's like, he's not done yet. He's like all of 10?
Yeah, a few more years out of him.
And if Michael Rubin is a backer of his, Michael Rubin will probably get a crack at every future business that kid has, you know?
Win-win.
My only disappointment about this whole thing was that they didn't make a pun about pitching. You know, this is a whole show built around the idea of pitching, and this was a baseball glove product.
We were so close.
It was a kid who came up with the pitch. Kind of was like, maybe
just throw one down the middle.
Understand
like,
puns
we need one pun. And maybe he doesn't know puns yet. All right, listen, Michael Rubin and Mark Cuban are going to teach you about business. I'm going to offer Jorie up to teach you about puns because Jorie is a pun master.
Pun master.
Home run.
That's a wrap on Glove Wrap, folks.
Today's episode was written and produced by the mythical Matthew Brown. Additional support comes from Melanie Romero and editing from Robert Hartwig. If you're a fan of the show, even if you're not a fan of the show, tell a friend. Word of mouth is the best way to support the show. That does it for me. We'll see you next episode here in the tank for another bite.